How's it going, Carl here? And today in Power BI, we're going to be developing a scatter chart using the scatter chart visual. So let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to grab our scatter chart visual and we're going to just drag it right here. And we see we have quite a few things here. We have values, x-axis, y-axis, legend, size, and we have a play axis. So let's have a little fun with this today. So we're going to first add in a profit. And then we're going to add in a quantity. And in my legend, I want the product category. Okay. And then my size, I want the sales. So blow my bubbles up. Yep, like that. And for my play axis, I want the date. All right. So now we have started development on our scatter chart. All right. So let's go ahead and do format. So we first want to start out with the size, and I want to just add in my border, and you guessed it, my shadow. So that's what that will look like. We can just go ahead and minimize that. So we have a title here, so we can change our title. Just get rid of the sum of and everything. All right, so we should be good to go now. Then we'll go down here to change the font, and we're good with the color. I want to put this right in the center. And then we'll minimize this. I want to go ahead and just turn the legend. Well, I want the legend on, but I want the title of the legend to be off. And we see now we have a min and max range for our x-axis, and our min and max range is based on a value from 0 to look like 200. So if I typed in 50, you'll see that it'll start at 50. And if I type in, let's say 120, stop at 120. So that's how that will look. Sorry about that. I looked at that completely wrong. And we see we have values here where we can change the font, the color, and the size of that font. So it can pop a little bit more. We can also turn the title off. We don't want to see that sum of profit anywhere. We have a y-axis, min and max. So it looks like it's from 0 to 15. So if we set this to 4 to 11, we'll see that we'll get that 4 to 11 range. And just get rid of that. You just delete these two. And if we wanted to have the values, we can have the values. We can also change the font of the values if we want them to pop a little bit more. We don't have to worry about display units on that one. We can take the title off, so it don't have to say sum of quantity there. We have our legend, and we've already took the title off of that. We also, as you can see here, we have grid lines. So if you expand that and you can play around with the grid lines here, feel free to pause if you want to go through those demonstrations with the grid lines. You can turn on zoom sliders for your min and max here. So this will give you the ability to set the min and max manually without having to have something in there stopped. You have markers. So if you want to change the markers from these circles to squares or anything like that, you can do that here by just changing the shape type. You can also change the size. If you want to change the size to a larger size, you can do that here, as well as change the color. If you want to change the colors to give them different color indicators. You can also turn on your category labels. So if you don't want your legend on, let's just say you turned your legend off. So let's just turn the legend off, and now we have category labels. So now as you see your values, you'll be able to just see those category labels. Of course, you can change your font to make sure that you can actually see it when it pops up. You can also put a background on that category label, like so, or you can turn that background off. And you can also create some reference lines here as well. As you can see, you have min, max, you have constant, y and x, you have average and median. So if you set one of those, you can see what that will look like there. And last but not least, we have two different things that we haven't seen before. So we have a symmetry shading. So if I turn this on, you'll see some symmetry shading happening here. You have upper and lower shading, as well as being able to set your transparency for those symmetry shading. We have a ratio line. So if you wanted to set a ratio line, you see that we have a ratio line that you can set. And you can also change the color and transparency to that as well. You can change the style to solid or dotted if you want to do that. You can also decrease the width size or increase the width size if you want to do something like that. And that is all for formatting this visual. The last thing I want to show you all is how this particular visual has a play function on it. So because we set our play, let's go back to this and click this. So because we set our play axis to the date, this will actually just play. So if I hit play here, we'll see how this will play out throughout the day, throughout the year, based on the day. So you'll see the sales going up, down, so on and so forth. And that is how you set up a scatter chart in Power BI. I hope you guys enjoyed this video.